Well, we definitely don't belong in the candidates, but I know that these videos are popular, like tier lists of who is going to win, who's gonna basically come last, and how people are gonna do. So maybe I could do one, and then you can do one separately. 'Cause I feel like it's not something that's very easy to do together because everyone really wants to know like your individual thoughts.
Yeah.
And it might be different. So
Sounds good. You want me to be here while you make your predictions?
I think so, because you'll do it right after.
Okay.
We can just reset it and do it again. Yeah, exactly, Tim. I mean, it can be very, very quick. So I'll do mine, and then we'll hear from Aryan, because we're gonna head to the opening ceremony pretty soon. So may as well get some thoughts in. All right, candidates 2024 tier list, going from most likely to win to in for a bad time, and we got the candidates here on the bottom. This will be just a shock to everyone, but I really feel like Abbasov is in for a bad time.
I mean, honestly, I don't think that comes like as a shock to most people.
No.
Or maybe most people expect him to win. I don't know, but at least not a huge shocker to me.
My thing is, I generally think that the experience in this tournament is worth quite a lot. In some ways, maybe even more than some people's prep, because just being in this tournament for the first time, being a young competitor in this tournament, I think you're like a future star, basically, if you can do well immediately your first time. That doesn't happen to everyone. So Abbasov had an interesting road to the candidates, where he kind of took Magnus's spot a little bit. I think he's in for a bad time. We have Ali Reza. I think Ali Reza is definitely not going to do poorly in this field. So I immediately have him above these two. I don't think he's actually going to be up here. I think Ali Reza, for me, is right here. I think he can do quite well against some of the younger, maybe more inexperienced players, but Ali Reza is a big big question mark for me. Like, I don't know if he's been saving everything for the candidates. He's like working on everything, not showing. He had a very entertaining candidates path. I loved watching him fighting in like French tournaments randomly, trying to grind the ratings. So that was very fun to watch. But I think he's middle to top of the pack. He could basically be like at the end of top contender or the top of will do well for me. I'll leave him here for now. Fabi, just straight to the top. I think it's definitely Fabi's time. Magnus isn't in this tournament, and he's not even in the next tournament if you win the candidates. So I feel like Fabi, the path is cleared for Fabi. Magnus has always been a tough guy to overcome in any event. But here, based on the field, I think Fabi is maybe the best prepared. He seems to be in the best form. He's obviously a good friend, so I want him to do well. So I'm definitely rooting for him, but I think he's very, very likely to win. Then we have here. So yeah, these are the tough ones. I'll even put these two gentlemen together, Gukesh and Prague, because to me it's like kind of similar expectations. I think Prague has both a better chance to do very well and a better chance to do very poorly, maybe compared to Gukesh. So if I'm making my predictions, I'd probably put Prague here. It's tough because someone always has to do poorly. You know, not everyone can be at the top, but I feel like he's maybe the most volatile, but I don't think he'll be right in the middle. I think he'll be top contender or do poorly. And if he's a top contender, I mean, I'm blown away impressed by him in the candidates. So I have Prague right here. Gukesh, I think probably around here. Gukesh has always been I would say a bit more solid than Prague. So I think Prague has the ability to score higher, but I think he'll do worse. And I have Gukesh not doing as well as Ali Reza, so I put him behind him there. Nepo, I think a lot of people feel like Nepo, just kind of overlooking Nepo. He's kind of been there, done that. That's actually why I think Nepo can do quite well. I think he can beat a lot of these younger gen players, like guys like Abasov. Like I think honestly he can crush guys like Abasov.
He's very good at beating
quite
the
possible.
Inexperienced
and
players. I've
Nepo
seen him beat
is
2600s very convincingly.
he can. I don't know. I just feel like he always flies under people's radars. So I'm gonna make sure not to make that mistake. I think Nepo for me is right here or right here. I'll put him here for now because I just want to see how it looks at the end and might adjust. But I think he's gonna do well and he could be a contender for sure. And then Hikaru, I think likely to win. I could put him there. For me, I feel like Hikaru's a top contender. I feel like Fabi's kind of on his own in terms of actual real winning chances that you can measure. But Hikaru's like right there. Obviously, that would be a good thing for chess if Hikaru of all people won. I think it'd be entertaining. I can't wait to hear the Hikaru interviews when he wins. But Hikaru has this thing where he streams, but he still wins all the time. Like he doesn't seem to be becoming a streamer and not a player.
It's extremely impressive how
I don't know how he does
to
it.
combine both.
It's
like he plays better when he's streaming and when he's making content.
So that's been impressive to me. He's like had a good run of results. Online does not dictate your candidate's results, but it certainly indicates your form. So yeah, I have Hikaru here. I could put Jan basically right behind him. I think this is probably a bit more representative of how I feel. And then Vidit, I basically put somewhere right in here. You know, he's definitely, I think in terms of maybe prep, perhaps experience with the top players, maybe studying and working with them and whatnot. I feel like Vidit has a bit of an edge over someone like Gukesh and Prague, although I'm sure they all work together. But I think, for example, Ali Reza will do as well or better than Vidit. So I kind of put him around Ali Reza, a bit behind, but I'm looking at what I put together here and I have a very obvious like philosophy, which is that the guys with experience are going to do well in the event and the guys without aren't. So I'm kind of basing my tier list off of that. I think Fabi has the best chances to win, doesn't mean he will. I do think Prague has the chance to be the biggest surprise of the event in a good way. And I think Nepo is probably not being, I don't think his chances to win are being regarded as high as they should be by others. I'm not sure if that's true, but that's the way I feel. I think, yeah, Nepo can surprise people. Prague can really impress us, and I have Fabi with the best chances to win.
Interesting to me that you put Prague on will do poorly and Gukesh that will do well. I feel like in these super tournaments, Prague has shown better results against the higher rated ones. But that being said, anything can happen. And
so why don't, instead of making a new one, why don't you just tear my list apart? They start from here and move it around the way that you would to make it what you think.
Okay, honestly, I'm not gonna remove about the Abasov one, who I think he's in for a bad time. I know Abasov for many years. He's a super nice guy, and I really want him to do well. I played him before in like World Junior Championship, and I'd be happy if he doesn't finish last. But based on what I've seen the last months, I would generally say after the World Cup, where he had his
amazing
best result in his career, it was one of the best results I've seen a 2600 player put out there. It's mostly just been going downhill after that World Cup tournament. He had a tough Bundesliga recently, and some other European team championship. I was there in Montenegro, he did really badly. Just been a tough couple of months, but I'm sure he's trying to put that behind him and start fresh here. But still, I definitely think he's most likely to finish last. So
Yeah.
not gonna change that. And then I'm also actually not gonna remove Fabi. I mean, you cannot not have Fabi unlikely to win. I mean, he's been stable #2 in the world for the last I guess 2 years. I could say. He had a very tough 2022 from what I remember, but end of 2023, start of 2023, he was also doing much better. So in general, the last 5 years, he's always been the next best player after Magnus. Although he actually got back #8 in the world at some point, some tough tournaments, but
I feel like you're just a hater if you don't have
his highest level is definitely unlikely to win.
Okay.
Top contenders. Yeah, I mean, Hikaru, I remember in like 2019, 2020, 2021, he just sort of got much more into streaming and stopped playing classical chess.
Yep.
But then there was the FIDE Grand Prix in 2022 when he made a very big return to elite level. Like from 20, he dropped down to 27-30. He won the Grand Prix, qualified for candidates. He did so well in the Madrid candidates, and just been very stable. He won Norway Chess. He's done well in some leagues. The last 2 years, he's been really on his highest
just doesn't
level.
seem to be falling off.
And
or
also,
anything.
he just seems like he's really enjoying more when he's playing, because he doesn't have to perform in the same way. When as he says himself, he has less pressure, so he feels better about playing, and when he's more relaxed, he does better. So he's been very impressive that last year. So he's definitely gonna be a top contender. I'm just not sure if I should have him unlikely to win or top contender. The World Cup went bad. He got knocked out by Prague. That being said, it was just World Cup is just a 2-game match, so anything can happen there. But
Magnus even can struggle in World Cup formats.
I feel Hikaru is very strong in this. When it really matters, he's just
he's super clutch.
I'm gonna put him on likely to win. I'm not gonna put Nepo on likely to win, but he's definitely gonna be on the top contender for me. The reason for that is psychologically, I feel always Nepo has not been the best. He's improved a bit the last couple of years, but I feel like if he loses one game to one of these guys, it's gonna be very hard for him to reset. Like in the Madrid candidates, where he dominated 2 years ago, I believe he didn't lose a single game, so he didn't have to deal with emotions and resetting. Just when everything goes well, he's a monster. But I mean, when you're playing 14 rounds, you're likely to lose one game, and also
that's right.
I really feel like last year he hasn't been doing anything special. He had some tough tournaments. Still won 2 candidates in a row. Should definitely not put him below here.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Alireza is it's a hard one. Like in 2021, he crossed 2800 3 years ago, the youngest player in the history of the game to do so. And everything was going so well for him. And after that, he's been struggling a bit. Like he just in general seemed less
even struggling to qualify.
Struggling to qualify, it seemed less motivated.
Yeah.
And just being very unstable in general. I feel we saw in Baikanze in January, he had some very nice games. Like he beat Ding in a very convincing way, but then like he lost to guys like Donchenko and some other tough games that he lost there. So he was like, he could beat anyone and lose to anyone. That's why I think he's unstable, and I'll put him in the middle. But still, as Aman said, I think he can do. In general, he always does well against these like younger, a bit more inexperienced guys. So I'll put him on will do well. Bidit's been my friend for many years, and I obviously hope for him to do well. But if I'm going to be objective, I think I have to put him on will do poorly, especially because 3 weeks ago he did really badly in the Prague Masters. He lost 3 games. I don't think he won any games actually. He scored -3. He had a disastrous event. And okay, he won the Grand Swiss, which was the best result in his career. Extremely impressive performance. He has improved the last couple of years, but still, I feel when he loses a game, it's hard for him to
That's fair.
mentally reset.
You're citing the mental a lot, which
Yeah,
speaks to like the
I
experience.
think the mental is very
is a
important.
lot.
That being said, he did lose the first game in the Grand Swiss to Erwin Lamy and then won I think 6 games in a row. But in general, that doesn't happen to Vidit. I feel. I feel he loses a winning position or messes up a good position. He usually leads after that. So.
Yep.
And it's his first time playing candidate, so it's. Anyway, this experience is very good for him, but I hope for him to do well, but I'm gonna put him here. I'm definitely gonna change these 2. Yeah, I mean, Prague was so impressive in the World Cup. He came number 2, he knocked out Nakamura, knocked out Mario, right? No, it's not Mario. Definitely knocked out. I mean, knocked out some 27. He knocked out Fabi and Hikaru actually. Yeah, Prague knocked out Fabi and Hikaru. Extremely impressive. And just his last results has been very stable, elite performances, and been doing well against the top guys. It seems to get more and more confidence.
He really does.
He seems to get more and more confidence against the top guys, so I feel he's gonna feel more comfortable than Gukesh, let's say. Although Gukesh has one elite tournament experience playing in the Norway chess, where he did decent. But I feel Gukesh is too unstable. Prague is more stable, and Gukesh, I think he needs more experience. Sometimes I see him lose some very tough games. That being said, he also plays some amazing games. But in the candidates, I feel he's
not ready.
Belonging here.
That's it.
That's it. I'm so excited. Can't wait for the first round tomorrow.
There you go. We I think the things we maybe agree the most on are like generally Fabi, Hikaru, and Nepo. And then Abasov on the bottom, and then the middle is kind of foggy. But you brought up something, which is that Nepo could also nosedive. Like, it could go all wrong for him as well.
Yeah.
So, those are the tier lists for Aryan and myself, and we're off to the opening ceremony.
Yes. See you guys. See you.